Okay, here is an example of combining the two clips that you made. We did a bounce composition and a ricochet composition, and you should see in my example right here, if it's recording correctly, you can see in the timeline I've got bounce here. My bounce I just did for demonstration purposes. It has a green background, okay? And I just did a quick and dirty version of this to show you. So here's, it doesn't have a squish, but here's a bounce. And then this tab is a ricochet, and it's not as nice as yours. I just slung them out, and I made them different colors so you could see that they're different. So here's bounce, and here's ricochet. Okay, so you have these two things. To put them together into one, and then export, you go like this. Go to composition, make a new composition, and you can call it both clips, or you could call it whole thing, or whatever, okay? Both clips. All right, and I'm using the same dimensions, 1920 by 1080. It's duration 5 seconds, 2 frames. I don't think that is going to be long enough. I'm going to make it, I'll make it 20 seconds. I'm not sure what to tell you. Look at your two comps and see how long they are. I don't remember how long I made mine before. So just, you can always change this, but I'll make it 20 seconds so I have plenty of space, or time really. Say okay. So now I have this empty comp called both clips here, okay? And it's tabbed, so here's both clips, and here's ricochet, and here's bounce. What I'm going to do is, in both clips, which is empty, I'm going to come over here and grab bounce, drag it down into both clips and drop it, right? And you see, here it is. It comes in as a layer called bounce, and this shaded area is as long as it is, so it goes like this. Bounce, 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 bounce. I have 5 seconds of it, and then after 5 seconds, it's just, it ends. There's nothing, right? Then I'm going to come up here and take ricochet, drag ricochet down, put it underneath bounce, and drop it. Now when I drop it, it's going to go under bounce, so I'm not going to see it. So when I scrub here, I can't see ricochet because it's blocked, because it's underneath bounce. But if I come over here and grab this shaded area by the middle, grab it by the middle, I can slide it. One thing you want to be careful in After Effects is when you go to do this kind of thing, when you grab the meaty part of a layer, if you accidentally grab the ends, look at when I go over the end, you see how I get a little double arrow? You can actually, it won't let me roll that out point out, but it will let me roll the out point back. And what happens then, this is sort of like peeling a sticker. Like this gray area here is the paper, and this tan area is the sticker. What I'm doing here is I'm dragging the end point backwards. So what'll happen is you'll see the ricochet happening in the tan area, but when it gets to the peeled sticker end of it, what I did is I moved the end point. And when I pass that end point, it's going to go black. Watch. Gone. Right, so there's still some media here. It's just that I peeled that out point back. So don't accidentally do that. Or if you do accidentally do it and you can't figure out what's going on, take a look. The reason I'm saying this is a lot of times people try to do this. They try to slide the whole layer, and what they accidentally do is they grab the edge and they peel it. See the difference? And so if you have something that looks like this, you might think you slid something, but what you really did is you peeled the in point or the out point. See, look, watch here. When I roll over this, it's going to go black. So you can sometimes you want to do that. Like sometimes you're like, I want to trim this. I don't want this to happen until this point, and you can grab it and you can slide the in point or the out point. You know, this is a tool. You can use it, but sometimes, like if you're not using it as a tool, you can do it accidentally, and then it's a mistake. And when you're a beginner, you're like, what is going on? I don't understand this. So anyway, long way of saying I want to grab this and match up the beginning of ricochet with the end of bounce, so that, actually I think I did it reverse in the example. I think what I want to do is this. Slide, I want to do ricochet first. So watch this. So ricochet is going to be first. When this clip starts, it's going to go like this. Pum, 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 ricochet all around, all around, all around. And then at the end, it's going to go from ricochet, I want to cut to bounce. Right? Now, someone asked in class, they said they did this, but their transition was abrupt. So watch mine. When I play, I got kind of a slow ricochet, and then it just cuts to bounce. So there's just a cut. So that demonstrates what I'm after here. But usually what I do is a transition. So what I might do is, and actually what I want you to do is go into ricochet here on the tab. Go to the ricochet tab, and at the end of ricochet, the very end, if it's whatever you're in, mine is 5 seconds, whatever yours is. At the end, go to the very end of Ricochet and find your position. Actually, you don't even need to find your position. At the very end of Ricochet, wherever your ball is, grab it and pull it off the screen to the right, so that your Ricochet goes like this. It goes bouncy, 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 bounce, and at the very end it goes off. It goes off screen right like that. Okay. Now the changes I just made in Ricochet, when I go to both clips, it's going to happen. So that thing of going off screen right, watch at the very end, it's going to go off. Let me move this so you can see it. I said it's going to go off screen right, and you can't even see it. Let me go into Ricochet and make it look a little better. Kind of like the way that looks. It's happening too fast. So I'm just sliding these position keyframes so that you can see it going off screen right a little slower. Okay? So what I want to see is, I want Ricochet to, at the end of the clip, I want the ball to exit screen right like that. So I'm just changing my position keyframes in the Ricochet comp so that position goes bye-bye off screen. Now when I go to both clips, the changes I made in Ricochet, in both clips, this right here, this Ricochet, is this right here, this Ricochet is this. So any changes I made in here are in there. It's the same thing. So at the end of this, watch, when I scrub, look at it, goes, it ricochets and then it goes off screen right, nice and slow. So it's leaving the screen on screen right. Now, on bounce, what I want you to do is, your bounce is a little bit more elaborate than mine. It's kind of beautiful and nice with the background and everything. So here, on bounce, what I'm going to do is at the very beginning of bounce, I'm going to look at my transform properties, right? And these first keyframes here, the first position keyframe, I'm going to park. I'm going to make sure I'm sitting right on that this first position keyframe here, position. I'm going to grab this ball, making sure that I'm at 0 seconds parked on that first position keyframe. If I move this ball right now, I'm changing the digits here on this first position. So I'm going to grab the ball and move it up and off to the a little bit left and off the top. So what's going to happen is the ball is going to come in from off screen and bounce. And what this will do is, when I go to both clips, watch what happens. In the Ricochet, it goes off screen right, and then when it cuts to bounce, it's coming in from screen left and falling. So it makes for it's what we call it in the biz, we call it in film making, it's a match cut. So watch. This is kind of inelegant, but you get the picture. It goes, see? So the motion, it's like leaves one frame moving to the right, going left to right. Here, it's going left to right off screen, and then here it's going left to right on screen. So the motion carries across. This is a very elemental. If you've done any editing or filmmaking, I do a lot of editing. I've taught editing. It's a match cut, and it's a conventional cinematic device, and animation and all that. So do that. Do a match cut, and it'll be like whoop. It'll be beautiful. All right. So you've got. We've talked about how to make a new thing called both clips. Put in Ricochet and bounce. Sequence them so that Ricochet happens first here. Bounce happens next. I address this transition by tweaking the end of Ricochet so that it goes off left to right, the beginning of bounce so it comes on left to right, so it's a nice transition. Now my whole thing is 10 seconds. Now the magic moment of export. So what I want to do is go like this. File, export, add to render queue. Okay. I'm going to pause here and export this video, because I'm not sure it's recording, and post it, and then I'll do a separate short video for the render queue because it's a little bit involved. Okay, so fingers crossed this worked, and my QuickTime is kind of funny. Let's see if I can post this. All right, wish me luck. I'll catch you in the next video.